CRIMEZ.
Babylon and generation B8 with clear sense, uncommon, can you see straight? Freeze frames by the blockchain, the deep state, deep fake DNA. I'm mobbing with the think tank. You on the block with the guards where the beats done. What makes it loud for a law, get your beat stung. Freeze frame, make it hard for bombers roll through. That hating energy get barbecue beef bump. You work a third of the day to get the shame. That was out just like the murderers and rapists that you claim. So we burn a little sage, then we raid in your spot.
Get down, nigga, get your motherfucking ass down. What that motherfucking over at? Fuck, nigga.
Pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. for slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hate, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, show crime, show crime, pull crime, pull crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hate.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
My nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from slave. So why you tryna get that occupation? My nigga, I ain't hate, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be paid?
Good morning and welcome to Thought Crimes. Be prepared to spend 1 hour and some change here live on TC. Grab yourself some coffee and jump into the chat. Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters, who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Welcome to Thought Crimes, everyone. This is your girl, Sincere.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. This is your man, P Solo, back in the building. Again, welcome to Thought Crimes. Hope you guys are having a good morning, too, by the way.
Today, we're talking about Clive Davis. He died on Monday. Sometime on Monday, he had passed away on June 22nd. And he died at the age of 94. Many are saddened to see the Titan go, while others are rejoicing because they feel personally that he destroyed music as we know it. Now let's get into the history of why some people may feel that way. Back in 1973, July of 1973, Rolling Stone put out an article, Investigations, Rumors, Mount in Colombia Drugola Scandal. In this article from Fong, you hear several federal agencies have leaked into the CBS versus Clive Davis affair, with talk of payola by drugs, or Drugola, as the New York Times has called it, still persistent, and more rumors and grand jury testimony leaks gushing out daily, easily swamping insistent industry denials of high-level crime in the record business. Remember, we have been saying for years that the movie and music industry were created by criminals. And a lot of those criminals also was anti-black, by the way, like Italians and Jewish, and sometimes Italian Jewish mafias at that as well. Latest reports had investigations being conducted by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark, New Jersey, and its strike force against organized crime. The Justice Department, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Internal Revenue Service, Newark postal authorities also figured in the early stage of the scandal when a February 6th bust of heroin ring, including a reputed mafia figure, led federal investigators to David Winshaw, then a vice president of Columbia Records. A CBS investigation of Winshaw led to the firing and suing of President Clive Davis on charges of receiving and obtaining company funds for personal use. The federal forces are studying talk of payola at Columbia Records, possible connections between organized crime and music business, and criminal aspect in the CBS complaint against Davis. CBS had detailed some $94,000 of alleged misappropriations of funds, but the suit also referred to other substantial sums of money, including a specific instance of $6,500 and $100 bills allegedly handed over to Davis by Winshaw. Now, this is very important to talk about because usually hip-hop platforms, they spend all day talking about, the Mafia and gangs connected to Drake, the Mafia and gangs connected to Kendrick, but Mafia gangs Diddy and so on and so forth. But they never talk about Diddy's mentor, for example, Clive Davis, and the gangs and mafias that he was associated with. And there is a long, extensive, I would say, rap sheet where there was a lot of allegations towards Columbia Records of drug trafficking, allegations of being a very, very dangerous record label that if you get out of line, you can get hurt. And this is also some of the things that Tommy had talked about on our show when it even came to Michael Rapino, where he personally believes that he is a mob and that Live Nation moves as, gangsters and different things like that. So it's really interesting. And it will be interesting to see if more platforms talk about this angle of the history within the music industry, besides their, fixation on what took place only between, YG and Drakeo the Ruler.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a situation here that, number one, if you guys may not be aware, we covered Clive Davis Drugola scandal several times on this channel, actually during the 2024 battle, the great 2024 battle where you have brother versus brother, cousin versus cousin, all right, Americans versus Canada. All right, but outside of that, no, we did cover this, and then I went further and I was breaking some things down to our Patreon subscribers. You guys can subscribe there, and we went all the way into the history of one Clive Davis. Now, to your point, Sin, where I concur with you, is that of course people are spending more time with the salaciousness of the average rapper, right? And they are more interested in whether or not will that rapper file for bankruptcy. I have fun with the culture. I have fun with our jokes and things of that nature along here on Thought Crimes with You. But I'm also a lot more interested in the real gangsters behind the scenes, boys and girls. I would have to get my black Kosh, right? And go track down some people in the streets and seek revenge, right? And so that goes for Mr. Clive Davis. Now, Clive Davis, earlier this year, it was announced that he was sick. I'm not going to lie to you all. I was like, he's 152 years old. I don't think he's going to make it, right? But yes, with the Drugola scandal, we talked about it on Patreon. You guys can even go follow Al Prophet. Al Prophet, all he does is spend time on what goes on with these gangsters. And we did have a chance to chop it up with Tommy Dorfman, a giant going against a conglomerate giant himself, and dealing with what was going on with Michael Rapino and this whole gang conglomerate that runs the music and entertainment industry. But yes, Clive Davis was caught up in the Drugola scandal, and the gangs went very deep. There was even a sector of, I kid you not, gay gangsters, all right? And what they would do, they would blackmail captains of industry, men that were perusing with hustlers, and these were gay men that were selling themselves in bars, and these things were linked to Clive Davis as well. It was a very expansive situation, causing for Clive Davis to have to step down at CBS. Now, what's very interesting
with Clive Davis, where I will say none of the rappers have the privilege, whether it would be Drake, whether it would be J. Cole or Kendrick, or hell, even Jay-Z, y'all. Clive Davis, over his 60-plus year career, they never brought it back up again. You know, they didn't keep bringing it back up like, oh, Clive Davis, you remember in 1970-something with the Drugola scandal? They did not confront him on that because he was an immediate MVP nexus of the power hub in the industry. So, yes, it did involve criminals. It involved the Italian mob. It involved other aspects of the mob. In fact, people that were tied or loosely tied to Sly and the Family Stone talked about, you know, just how in-depth that money market gangster monopoly went. So yes, no, great point, Sin. I think it's amazing that people like Clive Davis could have something as filthy as Drugola on their record publicly. This is not a conspiracy. We don't need the X-Files. We didn't have to go look. All we got to do is Google, right? And it's just something that's not necessarily brought up. I find it very fascinating, but it does show you, to your point, there are tiers to this industry, and people choose to either focus on the rappers because maybe it's an easier kill shot for them, no Eminem, or maybe they just out of sheer ignorance don't know anything about how gangster it got with record label execs in the 70s.
I agree, Prince. People don't know that a lot of people, including the rappers and the behind the scene peoples and the CEOs, are connected to mafias, and they have mob ties. Even if you look at the allegations Tommy had towards Michael Rapino with Live Nation. You know, a lot of people don't even know what has been happening with the Superfan. That is a creation from Jimmy Iovine. His, I guess, enthusiasm of the sports world, like what Granville talked about with ESPN, and trying to create that energy on steroids in the music industry with his network company, what he has in ownership with also Complex Magazine, and then also with going back to Spotify, that, you know, for a couple of days, people who are a super fan of Nicki or Drake or Kendrick or Cole or whoever can get some tickets, cheaper tickets that are usually still overpriced. But going back to the Rolling Stone article pertaining to Clive Davis, it is interesting how much his friends and his relationships in the industry rolled for him. So I'm gonna read some more from Rolling Stone. Many business friends of Davis, along with industry observers, have charged CBS with making Davis a scapegoat in what the company knew would be a major federal investigation of a possible industry scandal. Now, we also saw people use that same word with Diddy, that he was a scapegoat. They tried to hit Diddy with the RICO. It failed. But Diddy does have a lot of strong ties, let's just say, in the underworld when it comes to this industry as well. And one of his mentors was Clive Davis. Those friends, along with numerous Columbia artists, are known to have literally flooded Davis with calls, telegrams, and letters of sympathy. But so far, for the president, the former president, once and still potentially one of the most powerful figures in the record business, has seen only a few close friends. The CBS basically complaint handed to Davis as he was fired May 29th had called for a response within 20 days. At deadline, however, a deputy counsel at CBS told Rolling Stone that an extension had been worked out between Davis' lawyer and CBS counsel, the firm of Cravath, and again that's Cravath, Swan and Moore. The law firm is conducting an in-house investigation at Columbia Records, working alongside a team of accountants and private detectives, poring over legal documents, financial papers, and expense vouchers, and interviewing employees. The company is reportedly prepared to file additional suits against Winshaw and Anthony Rubino, the accountant at Columbia in charge of budget control, who was fired after a CBS check of what they called false invoices connecting him to Winshaw and Davis, which is funny because Tommy, who was on our show, he was accusing Live Nation of cooking the books and that, you know, their numbers were funny in how they do things. And they also had got a sweetheart deal from the U.S. Department of Justice. Let me continue on with this article. At Columbia, workers said that since the in-house investigation began 3 weeks ago, no expense vouchers have been paid. The accounting department is apparently going through a complete overhaul. One man now in San Francisco working on preparations for a Columbia Sales convention in mid-July showed the check he received from the company for his freelance work. It was so fresh that it bore no printing CBS records. Was typewritten into the upper left-hand corner. Also, the convention worker said CBS at the moment had editors at work on the film of Columbia's recent A Week to Remember. I can't remember that part. Editors at work on the film of Columbia's recent A Walk to Remember in Los Angeles, a showcase of the label's talent, emceed by Clive Davis. The deposed president, our source said, was being carefully edited out. Meanwhile, you had Liberson, who has stepped down and as president of CBS Records Groups, sent out a memo dated back to June 11th assuring employees that the investigation was not a witch hunt. It is for the protection and reputation of us all. Of all of us, later he told. Morale at the company is very high. Both inside and outside Columbia, record executives and employees involved in sales, promotion, and merchandising were expected to be subpoenaed to appear before the Newark grand jury investigating payola, made officially illegal 10 years ago after the House Subcommittee on Legislative Oversight completed its hearing. Winshaw was the first to bring up the subject of payola shortly after his dismissal from Columbia and before Davis was fired 7 weeks later. Winshaw began weekly meetings with the strike force, reportedly detailing how Columbia had spent $250,000 on payola to black-oriented stations alone. Did you hear that? Reportedly detailing how Columbia had spent $250,000 on payola to black-oriented stations alone. While he has said only no comment to reports of his testimony, he has also been said to have told of a $7,000 weekly payoff to Cal Rudman, publisher of Friday Morning Quarterback, which Rudman calls a factual programming guide, a compilation of radio station reports on new singles. And this article was in 1973, July 19th.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen. It's very simple, folks. The gangsters run the industry, whether people want to accept that or not. It's really not up for debate. And too many times you've seen people kind of just simply focus on the rappers or the producers or even their most favorite part of it. The groupies, the thoughts, the jump offs, whatever name they got for the girls and some of the boys that are out here messing around with these rappers and producers and scandalizing them also. Again, the Drugola scandal for CBS with Clive Davis is probably one of the most infamous, salacious moments in as far as business arrangements goes with the music entertainment industry. Okay, and what it really did was expose just how gangster the industry is, right? You got to think about, this is like right around the same era of what you saw them doing in Las Vegas, you know, even with the film casino. Like, they were talking about gaming commissions in the film casino. You know, you can literally apply the same tactics, in some cases from the same mafias, the same mobsters, to the music industry in the 70s. So I do think it's very interesting that, well, I don't know if I want to say interesting. I'll just say it's on par for people to be more focused on the performers, and in some cases the performing puppets, than a lot of the real master manipulators behind the scene. Because the reason why that can't be the case, because who feels like having their career ended up looking like what's been going on with the likes of Halsey, you know, or look at Dua Lipa, you know, whether you listen to these people music or not, there's a lot of artists that they're in all different type of genres. I don't know where they're coming from. But when they start talking about specific execs or cabals that are within the network of dealing with entertainment or even politics, and you see something happen to their career, something funny happens to their career, it takes place all the time, you know. So Michael Jackson, when he said Tommy Mottola was a gangster and that Tommy Mottola was bullying artists, you know, Mariah Carey hinted to it in her book, her autobiography. And she pretty much talked about the level of control that somebody like Tommy Mottola does have or did have at the time. And remember now, if you guys weren't sure, he was in the Jiffy Mix files mentioned over 600 plus times. Okay. Now I would like to see Netflix do a documentary on that. They won't, because that is actually where the real power is. This is where people can kind of really make their networks, you know, link up behind the scenes. You got to keep in mind, like, you think about all of the power plays that was mentioned in the Epstein files, right? And then you think about what level or positioning of power Clive Davis meant to music cultural enthusiasts. You know, I think it was on Trapital. I think the last Clive Davis interview where he was publicly seen at his 94 years of age was on the Trapital podcast. And it was just kind of like, you know, kind of a fluff piece about, you know, what have I done in the industry, darling? And yes, I miss Whitney Houston. I miss Aretha Franklin. And so at that point in time, you kind of just have it for face value. I do encourage people who may be unfamiliar with Clive Davis's history, his notorious history, do some research on your boy. You know, I know a lot of people online, he's been maligned in this era, especially of rap, right? Gen X rap, millennial rap, and even Gen Z rap. He's been maligned to this position of the elusive, you know, mythological white zaddy for Diddy. But he actually, if you go and check out his history, Clive boy was plugged into a couple of things. And even with his level of connections, you know, there were people saying he was being used as a scapegoat. One part is true, one part is water, and then the other part is vinegar, right? The other side of the game is that he did weaponize his power, and there was a cabal, there was an investigation. He had to resign and step down, basically. But were there more powerful backers behind Clive Davis? Absolutely. It's always the case. I mean, again, to bring up the film Casino, you know, yeah, Nicky Santoro and Ace were the idiots out front getting lambasted because they were moving so ghetto publicly, right? They were being so raggedy. You got Ginger out in the parking lot getting high. But you talking about behind the scenes, the Remo Gagis and the different Godfathers, they still made their power moves to kind of clean up the mess that their soldiers made, because these are their soldiers. And so when it was time to get rid of them, they got rid of them. And at the time with CBS, when it was time to get rid of Clive Davis and let's move on with this company and this new endeavor here, they did. Now, Clive Davis, though, was able to rebuild his career. and become a symbol of legacy and what it means to be legendary in the music industry. And there's all type of Clive Davis awards. He's been awarded the World Peace Trophy by the aliens from Mars and all this other stuff. But I mean, that's just what the game is. And in fact, you can go look up some of the last interviews of Quincy Jones, and he told people, even though people didn't like it, but he was telling folks about how the music industry was ran, and it's always been ran by gangsters. And he said it will continue to be ran by gangsters, no matter what iteration they come in at. And now we have gangsters from Silicon Valley that are merging in with the traditional music industry. We touched on some of these things behind the paywall. You've been hearing about what's been going on with AI and how some of these alleged gangsters have been moving out of that space, and then they're marrying some of the gangsters, and in some cases just taking over some of the bankrupt gangsters in the traditional music industry. So again, if you guys don't know the history of Clive Davis, definitely check on Clive Davis's Drugola era. The 70s era of Clive Davis's musical career, his professional career, is definitely one of the more important moments in the music industry history, because it changes everything after that.
To talk about Diddy, which is a very important thing, let's get into a little bit of that as well. Bad Boy Records in 1993, Davis partnered with Sean Puffy Combs, laying the foundation for an empire that launched the careers of the Notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans. So first of all, when you have media platforms try to tell you which artist is the purest of them all, they're all tied to gangland. They all are 1 degree of separation from some enterprise of drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and all those other allegations allegedly is all the underworld, is all mafia. Rap just makes it very obvious, but this has always been the case even during the jazz era. What Prince and I, talked about has always been the case, because these Italian mafias and so on and so forth are what built the music and movie industry. So when you go to Bad Boy Records, Davis created the empire of Bad Boy. This is why Diddy wasn't ever going to be like, there was never going to be a situation where like Diddy, partnered up with Suge Knight and partnered up with it. I hate to break it down to people, but a lot of the black mafia in the music industry is subservient to the Italian mafia. So Davis had full control over Diddy. You had Jimmy Iovine, who had a lot of say so when it came to Death Row Records and Suge Knight. You have even Lucien Grainge, who's partnership deal. You talk about UMG with Republic Records and all that with Cash Money Records, and the list goes on and on and on. So this is why you see this Tory soldier effect, where a lot of the rappers and rap moguls, they clash with each other. Even when we're talking about the Live Nation partnership with Roc Nation. Live Nation, Roc Nation. Jay-Z is with Roc Nation along with Desiree Perez. Then you have Michael Rapino with Live Nation. So this is like musical cheers. And to Prince's point, to pluck out one is to be hypocritical. You can't just be like, oh, just Jay-Z is just the only, or this one is just the only, or that person. They are all aligned. You get what I'm saying? They're all connected to some degree with the underworld aspect, the mafia aspect of the industry. And you saw what Tommy said. He's been in litigations with Live Nation for 16 years now. And Live Nation, even with the creation of the Superfan, talking Jimmy Iovine, what we brought up earlier, the creation of the Superfan, and how the audience is supposed to become, you are the customer to buy the drug. Just put it this way. So the Superfan is to make you an addict. One can even say even the 2024 rap battle between Drake and Kendrick had some unfortunate ripples effect connected to that, where you saw people get very angsty and started to dox each other. It's still going on right now. People, doxing each side. Let me dox people who are on Rock Nation side. Let me dox people who are, over there pro TDE or this or that. Let me go dox those who are over there defending Drake and OVO and all that. And you see that now the audience, it has become a part of the crack. They scratching their neck. They're like, I want another hit. Give me another heroin shot. But what can you expect from people who are of the mafia? You're looking at the cookie cutter appearance of things. UMG has been caught up in lawsuits pertaining to, although UMG was removed from the Little Rod lawsuit, with sex trafficking, where Lil Rod originally called out Lucien Grainge and his connection to Diddy. That is something that he removed from his lawsuit. But you had a Christian artist came out who said that UMG work environment just is not a good work environment or safe for people when it comes to sexual abuse and sexual harassment. You also, it's just all intertwined. So, even going back to Lucien or Clive Davis or even Tommy Matola. And people talk about it, but people still don't want to connect the entire dots, because then it would mean like you're only championing for somebody because you're on the team. And that's what they want to cultivate. They want you to be like, Drake is just sinful. There's nothing he could do right. He's the criminal. And everybody who's going up against him are heroes. Or they'll do the same with Kendrick. He's the center. He's completely just fake woke. There's nothing good about him. He's, the blood, gangbanger, all that. Anybody who have an issue with him, they're automatically in the right. The real truth is, everybody is on this grand chessboard. And also because the movie and music industry, it was created by mobsters, not the art itself. We already know the art itself wasn't, but the business of it. The business is based off of exploitation. This is why people who are from the industry, like when the Target conversation came up about Jay-Z, they're like, who cares? It is what it is. Now, the hypocrisy of people in the industry, you don't say you care when you need help from everyday people. When Diddy gets in trouble because of his alleged mob ties, what do he want to do? I'm a black man, save me. They're coming after me. I'm the scapegoat. When people start to focus on Jay-Z and Rock Nation, it's like, I'm a black man, I have a black family. Why are they trying to criminalize me? But at the same time, they don't really do anything against the higher ups who are connected to this gang life, who people in media don't have, like you said, repeated videos on. People are not going to make 100,000 videos talking about Clive Davis' gang ties, his mafia reach. They're not going to make 100 videos, even though it's even more intriguing, of Lucien Grainge, him being knighted in the UK and what his ties are. They're not going to make 100,000, videos talking about Tommy Matola. And they're not going to be honest that all your favorite artists, whether they're in rap or not, even if they have their own mafia gang ties, they still, it's hard for them to compete with the mafia ties that the grand old arc has, like Tommy Matola and the rest of them. Because those ties also go so international, where you see what Trump did. Trump said, he was going to help Diddy, then he said, nah. But you saw the U.S. Department of Justice gave Live Nation that sweetheart deal. Just like when Ticketmaster was doing their thing, they was able to get off easy when you had Pearl Jam try to take them to task. And it's hard because fans become fanatics to the product of the artist, because to some degree, the artist is the drug as well. Even though they have their own mafia crews, even though they have their own aspirations, even though they want their own power as well, they are the drug that is sold to the public as well, because the fans' fanaticism towards these individual artists blind them from the entire network and how it works. Or even to an extreme extent, they'll give up their own rights. Like, people forget right now in these concerts, you know, you got to give up a lot of data and information. You know, they're scanning people's biometrics. So you giving up. You're so much in love with Pharrell. You're so much in love with the big three. You're so much in love with Nicki. You're so much in love with whoever it is, that you would go to a concert and they have your data when it comes to your biometrics, because the artist is the drug that is sold. So it's not about even demonizing these people. Any artist can get caught up when it comes to the law. They could go after TDE and say, well, you know, they're connected to trafficking. They could go after Drake and say, oh, he connected to trafficking. They could go get Roc Nation and hit Roc Nation with a RICO. It can happen at any time. Even you saw with Fat Joe. Someone came out in a lawsuit, said he was a sex trafficker. Then they removed that part of the lawsuit, and now they're just focusing on just trying to get their money from Fat Joe. So when it comes to any of these people, even when you see with the Epstein files, somebody can be targeted at any time, whether it's right or wrong, because the entire infrastructure is based off of the mafia. They call the audience chatty patty and all this other stuff. I would say that, you know, the gang members that are connected to rap, they run their mouth all day, 24/7. Even, I know we're in the age of Aquarius, but Pluto being in Aquarius, it will mean mafia people talking online. We see Italian mobsters online talk about their old days. We see CIA agents that are also connected to Pluto in the 8th house. We see them in astrology. We see them out and about yapping as well, like CIA agents wanting us to trust them about what they have to say on podcasts. And then you have, you know, Bloods, Crips, and so on out there more than ever talking online and telling everybody's business, including their own. Some of them get locked up because of it. Some of them don't. But you do have a lot of snitching in rap, because even when it comes to the casino situation, it's everywhere. You know, even Nas extended a casino out in Queens. You had Jay-Z, who was trying to get a casino out there in Times Square. Jay-Z is into, you know, the casino stuff as well. Nas, you have, of course, Drake with Stake, but you also have Tom Brady and so many other people. You have the entire industry getting into gambling, and also the tech industry as well, because Polymarket delves into gambling to some degree as well. So it is interesting to see the no snitching culture from like gangs, but it's interesting to see though that they talk the most while calling other people snitches. It's a really bizarre type of thing. And one of the reasons why I guess they do that is more of a crab in a bucket type of situation for gang members who are, I guess you would say, black mafia. The part of the black mafia that extends into hip hop, they undercut each other so much because they're fighting for crumbs and scraps. At least that's how it seems, you know? So, of course, a lot of their biggest partners are Italian mobsters or Jewish mobsters, you know, and that's their lifeline. And this is why the whole energy of being truly woke doesn't exist at all in the hip-hop industry. It cannot exist. Like, even when people kick in Jay-Z's back in, you hypocrite, Jay-Z, the Target, all that stuff, it's a part of the lifeblood of the industry. You can't really be morally righteous. You saw what Tupac said when he went over there to the West Coast. He was like, how am I being an angel with demons? But you saw where that ended for him. It's very dangerous for people who, you know, don't grow up in the mafia, wasn't born in the mafia, wasn't raised in the mafia. It's very dangerous for them when they get into the movie or music industry, because then they're around all these different types of mafias. The Asian mafia, the Jewish mafia, the Italian mafia, black mafias. So this is why, a lot of them be like, oh, what's going on? Because remember, Denzel Washington came in through the Black Mafia. That's how Denzel Washington got his start. Allegedly. But because of this, the people who aren't from that lifestyle, they come in thinking about just the artist. So that's why a lot of people are shocked, but there's sharks in there in the water. They be shocked when they're like, I thought this guy was really woke and for the black community. Oh my goodness, he's doing this and he's associated with that and he's into this type of dealings in the mafia. Yes, they all are. Oh my goodness, I thought this guy in the industry was for women's rights, but he's doing this and that. Your rights that you believe in as the clean face of the money stops and ends for when the mafia dealing starts. So you could be for women, but people in your syndicate traffic women. You can be for black people, but a part of your syndicate exploit blackness and black people. So it can never truly be a thing because a part of your business is the exploitation of the very people that you claim to protect or fight for. That's something that people got to keep in mind. So we'll talk about this more extensively, of course, on the Patreon for all of you. Make sure y'all go over there and check it out. We love and appreciate you all. Just remember to the squares in hip-hop media who are completely indulging in the mafia part of the industry. You're supposed to be a square, but you're talking about gang with YG, or you talk about you putting certain chains around the neck for whatever association is, or a Rockefeller chain, I don't know, TDE chain, OVO chain, whatever. Just keep in mind though, whatever set that you're repping, there's always consequences if that particular syndicate is chosen to be examined and to be investigated or looked into. And as the square, that's the chance that the risk you take by being over there, whether you know it or not. So that's why my policy is, Prince, and you know it, as many people in mafias or street gangs that listen to Thought Crimes, and I appreciate you all, I don't want to be involved in any of that. So make sure you subscribe to Thought Crimes. Love y'all again. Check out the Patreon. Peace.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
The jig is up.
Pimp, pimp!
Hooray!
I saw the check, nigga. Huh?
See why you can't be a part of think tank?
Thought Crimes. Thought Crimes.
Oh my God, what's this?
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Sensational.
Break.
Oh my God, what's this?
I sing because I'm free. His eye is on
Thought Crimes.
Oh my God, what's this?
and I sing happy, and I sing happy, and I sing
We are all the same. We are all the same. More group
Coming through your airwaves. All right, now I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airwaves. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.